snow, taking down another top NFL defense in the process. An unbelievable transformation, an unbelievable turnaround, and an unbelievable game to break down with Joe Murray, who's here to give us his opening thoughts on what his takeaways were from this unbelievably historic win for the New England Patriots.
Mark, the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. They beat everybody that was in front of them. Every team that showed up on the schedule, they beat. They've now beat 17 teams in the NFL this year, if you really want to look at it. So, was it an easy schedule? Sure, they're going to the Super Bowl. Right? Did things go in their favor? Sure, they're going in the Super Bowl. But in this game today, they faced a quarterback that was a backup that got out to an early lead, where their coach could have went for the points. We've been talking about this all playoff long. Don't leave points on the field. They left points on the field, and the game turned it around. It wasn't pretty today, but Mark and I were watching the game together in the side room over here, and I was calling for the QB bootleg all day.
Facts.
And Mark even said, when this drive happened after the 2-minute warning and their final timeout, Mark even said, you have to give the ball to Drake May on one of these plays. And we both were right. So I would like to just say that in that spot, the coaching mattered in the fourth quarter. The kicker was from Miami and missed one. The defensive line was incredible. But late in the game, Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, Ramondre Stevenson, Drake May closed the door. That was all coaching second half, Mark.
It reminds me of a game earlier in the season. Little choppy, little sluggish early, uneven early. Patriots coaches settle in. Two major takeaways. Number one, okay, I thought the difference in this game, turnovers. Patriots did not turn the ball over. Broncos turned the ball over. Game, okay? That was the game. And I don't know if that was, obviously the game plan is always to not turn the ball over. It became more part of the game plan as the weather intensified as the game went on. I thought that not turning the ball over became the number one priority for Mike Vrabel late in the game. And I think ultimately it cost the Broncos the game. That was a great play executed by the Patriots defense to force the turnover. I don't know what that ref was doing. You almost always nowadays see the refs call that, let that play out, and then you see if there's a review and you take a look if the pass was bad or whatever. I couldn't believe they took the touchdown off the board. He called it an immediate incomplete pass. That was crazy. But the turnovers, the missed fourth down where Peyton, now I don't know if Sean Payton realized that the weather was going to get as bad as it did. He might have changed things based on that knowledge had he had it. That was a huge play. So turnovers. Patriots clean. Broncos turned it over a couple times. And the other thing that I took away from this game, Joe, whooped is a strong word. But I thought the Patriots' defensive line, we'd heard a lot about the offensive line of the Broncos, Bulls and these guys that they have along the line. Their center was back and they've got an whatever. Best offensive line in the league. Edge, Patriots' defensive line in this game. I thought they couldn't really run the ball at all. There was some poor tackling early, but in terms of penetration, I thought the line did what they needed to do. They got pressure on Stidham. They didn't blitz a ton, and they still were able to get to him enough to once they did start to get to him, I think he got a little rattled, got a little in his head, and I thought that was a huge storyline. Edge, Patriots defensive line over that vaunted Broncos offensive line.
I would say the number one edge was the defensive line for the New England Patriots, because at times you could say Sean Payton was kind of running things. Sean Payton had the Patriots on their toes. He was really calling
in that first quarter, especially. Yeah,
he was calling a great game. So, I want to at least give some credit. He was cocky early on, all week long. They showed it, right? They met that early on.
Yes,
but all game long, the Christian Barmore swim move gave me tingles.
Yeah. Warm and fuzzy.
Chason was all over the place, and the one thing I wanted to say about him, it wasn't just getting after the quarterback. There was times where they would just dump it to Harvey, and he would just go sideline to sideline and get him. The D-line was incredible. Isn't this what they paid for, though?
Yeah.
In the biggest game of the year when they needed him. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez made the final pick. Great, he's going to get paid. He's a big-time corner, right? But the defensive line was paid for. Milton Williams was a hired gun from a Super Bowl team.
Correct.
Right, because Spillane had to leave the game. He got injured. They needed the defensive line more because he's one of their best tacklers. You mentioned the tackling. The defensive line was incredible today.
Milton Williams against the Chargers, Kayvon Chason against the Texans, Christian Barmore against the Broncos. I mean, it was, I'm not saying the other guys didn't do anything in the other games, but those are the highlights. And the fact that they were able to give the Patriots that type of edge. And by the way, I also think once again, the cornerbacks and the defensive backs played well. It was a disappointing result on that drive where they hit whoever it was, Mims, for the long pass. But in a way, I can't completely crush Christian Gonzalez because you're talking about Jarrett Stidham. It's 3rd and long, and Gonzalez is sort of sticking to the sticks, to the yardage, thinking they're going to just try to get that, and he was going to try to jump the route. He's not expecting that play and that pass and the receiver to keep running and a perfect pass from Jarrett Stidham. So you got to kind of tip your cap to Stidham there. He made the play, great execution. So I mean, bad play by Gonzalez, obviously, but I'm not going to destroy him for that. And overall, the rest of the game, they covered again. Once again, they covered.
Can I give you one more on the defensive line? How about the tip on the field goal attempt by Lutz?
Yeah.
I didn't know where the ball was going, dude.
Leonard Taylor,
who just got called up from the practice squad this week. I should also mention Tonga. 3 solo tackles on the day today. Like, come on. This wasn't a rock fight. This was a snowball. This was a snowball fight.
Yeah.
This was an ice fight.
I didn't think the linebackers were great today. I didn't love what Ellis was awful. I didn't love what Gibbons did, and obviously Spillane went out. The linebackers were not good in this game, but they were able to get picked up.
Jennings had some push, but he's more of just a rusher.
Yeah. I'm talking about the guys in the middle of the field, that inside linebacking grade. I didn't know what Ellis was doing on a couple of those. He didn't dive for Harvey that time. He missed a couple. In just a few plays, Joe, I thought there were some big plays. For example, there was a play early in the game where they had, or even on that first the touchdown that the Broncos scored. First down, okay, after the big play to Mims. I think it was Mims who caught that ball. Mm-hmm. First down, they had a chance on a reverse to make a tackle for a loss, beyond the 10-yard line, and they allowed whoever got the ball to wiggle his way back to the line of scrimmage, maybe even get a yard. And that, it might not have been a big deal, but if you get a loss there when you had him dead to rights, then you're predictable. Then you're most likely throwing it twice because it's 2nd and long from outside, 2nd and goal from outside the 10. The fact that you got back to the 7-yard line, then you can run it. So that play action rollout that he executed worked. And there was a lot of plays like that early where the linebackers specifically had a chance to make a tackle and they would let the guy, instead of a loss, get out for a couple yards. That's a big difference. And in a game like that, those little mistakes turn into big things. So, but overall, great defensive play. I mean, the way they assimilated to the game and settled in was what we saw all year. What we saw early, and they were able to finally get a win in Denver, something Tom Brady and Bill Belichick could never do in the playoffs. And, the snow, obviously Brady threw for more yards against the Raiders, but no touchdown passes for Brady in that game. 1 rushing touchdown. Drake May, no touchdown passes, 1 rushing touchdown. And he did, at times, go into that Vince Young Rose Bowl mode, which helped him. Okay.
Let's hear from the Super Bowl.
Mike Vrabel's Super Bowl bound. His press conference is brought to you by Oakers Technologies.
That's why you have to do this. You have to believe things sometimes before you can see them. And you have to believe that what you're doing is the right thing. And if it's not, you have to recognize it and make adjustments and changes to the program and everything else. And, we got a great group of guys, and they continue to, again, believe in the things that we did, and they formed and created an identity, and they try to protect it. And then today was just another example of, as things kind of change and unfold, our ability to adjust. And, Josh and Zach and Jeremy did a great job leading their units, and the players executed when they had to. And I know that there's going to be a lot of questions about this and that and the other thing, and, we did enough to win the football game in tough conditions. And, when we got that field goal, the defense, and talking to them, and I said, if they don't score, then it's going to be hard for them to win the football game, obviously. And we took care of the ball, and then the 5-minute drive, we were able to run it just enough. And then, came up with a big call there at the end of the game to seal it.
Mike, how much, is this a kind of game of adjustments? Your quarterback using his legs, instead of his arm in critical situations.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about Drake, and the ability to extend plays, and if it's not there, gain chunks, and he's done that most of the year. And again, we'll have to get a lot of things corrected, and we'll have to play our best football game in 2 weeks if we want to finish champions.
Mike, can you speak to Chris Gonzalez? Obviously, gets beat on that early pass there, and he seals the game.
Yeah, and
what does that say about it?
It just says that he's been playing really, really good football, and sometimes you get beat. The best ones do. And, again, I really just about 6 or 8 weeks ago, I can't remember when, but, I saw a different Gonzo. I saw just something went off, and it changed, and maybe the Ravens game or something. I noticed just a different player and a different person, and, he's so talented, and I appreciate every one of them, and he can certainly be elite. And, your best players have to make those types of plays in championship games.
Mike, the timing of the guys you bring off the practice squad, Taylor coming in and blocking that kick. Did you even know that kick was blocked by him?
I did not. Lenny T, revenge game, week 5. We just keep making this. Will be next week. Or 2 weeks. It'll be revenge game, week 6. So Clint McMillan does a great job of getting those guys ready to go. And, each and every one of them has made plays to help us win, and, they'll have to continue to do that.
My first congratulations.
Thank you, Soph.
But I wanted to ask just about this team. You've had a close team from the start. What was it like when the clock was 0 and, you knew that you were going to get with this?
It just, it's a group effort. It just wasn't me. And again, I stand up in front of you guys, and I am thankful of the people that are around us in that building and our program. And you have to come together, and you have to do what's best for the team, and from a personnel standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, and from the players. And you get everybody to believe in something and buy in. And again, that doesn't come without adversity. You have to have adversity. But I do this for the players. I've been in their position. I've been there. And it's amazing. And I want other people to feel that feeling. And it's for our families who make a lot of sacrifices, and the excitement and the joy that they have. Trust me, I'm fine. Like I'll be okay. I do this for the players to be able to experience this with their families, and our coaches to be able to experience it with their families.
How bad did the conditions get as the second half went along? How bad did it get? And at what point did you realize it was going to be that kind of game? And what if?
Well, I would say halfway through the third quarter. I think when we got that field goal, and again, wished it would have been able to be a touchdown, but it wasn't. And then, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And our defense was playing really good, and we were able to do just enough offensively to give them a break. And even kicking the football and the operation, and that stuff is things that you can't really replicate back home.
Mike, you need to tell your players the elements being as bad as they were. Do they understand that, or is there something specific you had to say to them during the game to make sure they kept that focus?
Well, I think that we're continuing to talk to them about the cleats and the ball security, and you saw Ramondre slip, and it's just a reminder that, one play could make the difference. And then he came back and ran really well, and, about just taking care of the football and, calling a game that doesn't put the ball in harm's way. And, we forced them. And again, defensively, we adjusted. They threw some things out there. We were all over it. And, you saw when they had to throw the football that it wasn't that easy.
Mike, your view of 2 critical plays, the 4th and 1 play when they were up 7-0, and also Christian Ellis backwards pass. It seemed like you guys were all over both plays.
Yeah, and Ellis continues to make plays. We talk about it just takes one play. And whether that's Marcus Jones last week, Christian Ellis, which it would have been a touchdown. They blew it way too late, blew the whistle, and I guess the call. But, for print purposes, just put the whistle in there. See what I did there? And then, the fourth just being, just coming up huge stops, and then our ability to get the little bit of, yards that we needed in critical situations.
Guys, two more questions. Locker room's open.
Adam was up on the stage, obviously a former teammate of yours, and just with that.
Well, again, I think that the position that I'm in, I've been able to see a lot of former teammates and guys that wanted to come back and be around. And saw Tom Ashworth last night, a local resident, and having Adam here and seeing him before the game, and Val, and he was probably licking his chops. Those conditions probably looked pretty good to Adam to go kick field goals in.
Mike, how would you define this group? What is this group as you head to the Super Bowl? How would you define them?
Fun to coach. They're entertaining. We get another week for Will's weekend update. So they've been resilient. They've been very coachable. There's a lot of connectivity in them, and I appreciate what they do. Thanks, guys.
Stephon Diggs will be coming in here.
All right, that was Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's press conference is powered by Oakers Technologies. The new year means time for new technology. Do what schools and businesses all across New England are doing and upgrade your classroom or boardroom with TouchView Interactive to draw plays like Zoe does. Get future ready in 2026 with Oakers, proud partner of your New England Patriots. And, there's a million areas. We're going to have to take a quick break in a minute here, Joe. I just wanted to point out the Patriots, we could talk about the schedule. That's been a huge topic of conversation. We all know this. 9-0 on the road, Joe. Has that ever been done? I mean, I don't care what your schedule is in the National Football League. You go 9-0 on the road. You go to Denver, which has been a house of horrors for you. You go there. I get it, backup quarterback, but the elements, everything associated with their defense and all the all-pros they have up and down the roster, that's significant. I don't care what your schedule is. And I just want to say one other thing, okay? We're not going to go spend a long time on this. If you were one of the people that doubted the Patriots coming into this game or hyped up Jared Stidham as somebody that could really come in and do damage against the Patriots, then you need to sit there today or tomorrow or whenever and give the Patriots defense credit once again. I still am absolutely beyond words at how little discussion the Patriots defense got, Joe, heading into this game. Whether the weather was a factor or not, Jared Stidham and what they have done and the teams they have been able to overcome, the defenses that May has been able to overcome in association with his own defense, the fact the Patriots defense wasn't getting more recognition or chatter, whatever you want to say, blows my mind. And they showed up again.
Yeah, in the fact that, I know we'll get into their offense later. I just saw something that the Patriots averaged 18 points per game in the postseason. It's the fewest points per game by any team to make the Super Bowl since 1979. So to not credit the defense for the way that they played, like the Patriots averaged, 28 points per game during the season? We're 10 points less, but their defense was that much better. I agree with you, man. All week long, it's been about the schedule and getting the Broncos with a backup quarterback and all that. Nothing was ever said about their defensive line, their star corner that they have. Like Marcus Jones had some nice play. Carlton Davis had good tackles.
Another solid day tackling, yes.
I mean, they have a rookie that's making big plays on defense. Like, the defense wasn't talked about, Mark. It absolutely wasn't. And we're going to hear about Seattle's defense if they win. And all you're going to hear about is McVay and his offense and that, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll be talking about the Patriots defense next in the Super Bowl?
Probably not. And the last thing I just wanted to get to, we've been around a long time. We've been in this region a long time. We've covered these teams a long time. We're from here. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a run where they had to play 3 elite-level defenses like they had to play this year. They had other elite quarterbacks they would have to deal with, Peyton Manning or whatever, LaDainian Tomlin. I don't even know. But in terms of the three defenses, straight up defenses between the Chargers and their rankings, the Texans, who people were calling, then they were giving them nicknames, calling them the next great defense, and then this Broncos defense in Denver. I don't remember a run to the Super Bowl where they had three elite defenses like this back to back to back on their way there, and they overcome all of them. I understand their offenses and
Easy
the O-line,
schedule,
whatever.
huh?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I don't remember it. You know, you can go
Easy
back
schedule.
and well, that's a garbage narrative. That's been a garbage narrative.
The only thing I can think of is like the Jags went on an improbable run after being expansion, right? Like
the Jags?
Like I'm thinking
Well,
teams
yeah.
that had,
They didn't make the Super Bowl.
Like they beat the Broncos, who are the best team, and they lost
Sure,
to the
the
Patriots,
Panthers,
who
when they made the
ultimately-
Super Bowl early on, a little bit, sort of.
But they played some good defenses. The Patriots, they got the Chargers, who won 11 games. They had the number one defense in football in the Texans, and the Denver Broncos with the number one defense and at home, and the number one seed.
It's a tough stretch.
And they did all that with a second-year quarterback
Correct.
with a inheritedly bad roster.
617-779-0985. Speaking of that quarterback, we're still going to hear from Drake May coming up. Greg Bedard will join us. A lot more to get to on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network. 12 first downs today, and with every first down, Credit Union's Kids at Heart funds promising studies into new treatments for pediatric brain diseases. Learn more at cukidsAtHeart.org. The Patriots and Drake May specifically get a little creative there on the final drive. Joe was calling for it. We wanted May to touch the ball with a run opportunity on the drive. They do it. It's timely, and he executes. Drake May with his legs today, huge in this game, huge for the Patriots, and way more productive with the legs than he was throwing the ball today. Let's go to the phones, and Bill in Worcester will start it off. Hey, Bill.
Hey, guys. How you all doing? Well, I want to congratulate the Patriots and going to the Super Bowl 60. I can't believe it. But, I think Drake May made the right choice. And they intercepted the ball, and they won the game, and I'm really happy.
I'm glad. Bill's happy. We're happy. And just a quick shout-out, Joe. We should have done this to start the show. That's on me. Just a shout out to the people out there who are on the roads, plowing the roads and the mess of the snowstorm that we're dealing with here in New England and Boston. Thank you. I hope you enjoy this moment. If you're listening, if you're a Patriots fan, they're going back. Relax. Thank you for what you're doing, and hopefully you can enjoy what we're talking about here on the Patriots going to another championship game.
Yeah, and I would just say, we can break down the game, but certainly call in. This is the time to celebrate. We'll be watching along with you on who the opponent will be, but load up those phone lines. We'll take you all night long.
Back to the phones. Johnny's in Quincy. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Appreciate you taking the call. Just want to say, I don't care how they won the game. They won the game, and this is something that we've been longing for and waiting for obviously the last 5 years. And I'm 35 years old. I'm grateful for 12 Super Bowls in my lifetime, and what better way would it be for us to go back to the Super Bowl, play the Rams, and not bookend, but reboot the dynasty with a Rams Super Bowl. That's what I hope for. So just want to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
That'd be crazy. Did Drake May play well in this game, Joe? No, he did not. Okay, he didn't play well, and we'll have time to get into that and how concerning that may or may not be. He didn't play well in this game. He missed a lot of throws that were there for him to make, to be honest with you. But I will say this about Drake May. Again, what have we said all year? When he makes a mistake, he keeps coming. When he makes a mistake, he keeps coming. So what does he do today? Okay, and I thought this was the key to the whole game. His throws were there, and he did not play well in the game. He could have made more plays with his arm. He didn't. So how does he back it up? He backs it up by running the ball as efficiently as we've seen all year, and by not making a mistake and not turning the ball over. And that ended up being the difference in the game. He did not turn the ball over, despite the fact, yes, there were throws he missed, inexcusable at times, to be honest with you. He could not hit a dig route in this game. Booty, he left short, those balls to Booty over the middle. He left 2 or 3 of them short. He had some bad throws in the flat. It wasn't good. But he ran the ball. He went into Vince Young mode at times, from that old Rose Bowl game. And he did not turn it over. And that was the difference. The pick, obviously, by Gonzalez, the fumble down by the goal line that helped him score, and that kick, it's not a turnover, but the blocked field goal, huge.
This was Drake May's worst game ever.
Yeah.
In my opinion. He didn't turn the ball over.
Nope.
So, I think some people will be like, no way, man. He's had, 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions before in a game. He was bad. He wasn't throwing
He wasn't making good throws. And I didn't think he saw the field well. I didn't think the decisions were all that good.
Well, you used the word conviction when we were watching the game.
Yeah.
He had a few where he threw up in the throw to Mac Hollins was great.
Which one? Off the flea flicker?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
The one that was good. He threw a tight one to Henry that he dropped.
Yep.
It wasn't everyone's greatest game. I will say that. But as far as the offense is built, though, you have Steph Diggs, who's your top guy, right? Mac Hollins has been somewhat of a big play guy all year. Booty they couldn't do anything downfield, so he was kind of useless. They went to him, though. But it was Ramondre Stevenson. It was the offensive line. And it was Drake May. Drake May couldn't throw the ball well, so what's he do? He used his legs. But overall, we talked about it. The line, Mac Hollins, they were all good. Special teams and Drake May weren't great, and they still won the game.
I thought I thought his best throw of the game, it could have been the one off the flea flicker to Hollins. And I'm looking forward to my notes, and it became a scribbled mess. But do you remember the third down when they were backed up? It might have been in the second half, inside their own 15-yard line. It was 3rd and 13, and he found Hollins. Hollins bobbled the ball. Remember, he bobbled the ball. That was, I thought, the best throw, because that was a huge, just to get out of the shadow of the goal line. And when you eventually, they probably had to punt, I think, in that sequence, you at least got yourself a little bit of field position.
That was a 20-yard reception.
Yes, that was a huge first down on 3rd and long. He put that was a throw with conviction, and that's what they needed. Okay, 617-779-0985. More from you. We're going to hear from Drake May. Greg Bedard will join us. A ton more to get to about this game. We'll look ahead. We'll look back. All of the above with the Patriots going to Super Bowl 60 after a 10-7 win in Denver on the road in the snow. Joe Murray has an update for you, but first let's pause 10 seconds for station ID on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports of Patriots Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. They defeated the Broncos in Denver today, 10-7. It was a stormy game that Drake May struggled passing the football. He went 10 for 21, 86 yards. He did have a rushing touchdown. He rushed for 65 yards on the day, and it was the difference. Jarrett Stidham threw a touchdown pass, had an interception, a closeout by Christian Gonzalez, and he went 17 of 31 on the day, but did lose a fumble in the game. The Patriots now going back to the Super Bowl from worst to first. They'll take on either the Rams or the Seahawks. Right now, Seattle, they have a 7-3 lead over the Rams with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Innocent Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. You'll save 15% off your next drive-through oil change at Valvoline Innocent Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray. We'll have more of the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show after this on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports of Patriots Radio Network.
Autodesk is proud to be the presenting sponsor of today's AFC Championship on 98.5 The Sports Hub between the Patriots and Denver.
for it all year, right? So I just want to credit the Patriots when it was a must-needed situation. They let Drake May run in the red zone. Sometimes they hold it back, right?
Yeah.
So biggest game of the year, they went to Drake May. Like, that's a story. Like, that's the story. Your best player, ball in his hands, biggest plays of the game. He converted on both of them. Now, you brought up the flag. Clearly, we were sitting in an office room, and it was a backwards pass. We saw it, Mark. It was a backwards pass. And you're taught to follow the play, right? Play through the whistle. I need an explanation how that's not a touchdown. I need an explanation.
It's inexplicable. And you know what? I'll just real quick. Sorry, Joe. I'll give Christian Ellis some credit because I was hard on him earlier. He did make that play, and Stidham is trying to throw it forward. It would have been grounding or whatever anyway. But Ellis is the one who pushes his hands back and makes it go backwards.
Yeah. Well, it's a great play.
Yeah.
But Mike Vrabel wanted to throw the flag.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can't review that. I don't know. Maybe we'll ask Bedard. We got to ask Bedard though.
Yep.
But later on in the game though, Mark, the Patriots on a 4th down went for it. Remember they had Williams and Tonga and Ramondre as like a triple butt rush.
Yep.
I don't know what else.
I don't know what that was.
Push,
Yep.
whatever it is. Did they get the first down? They called it on the field, but Sean Payton challenged it, and to me that was you're not going to win that.
Mm-hmm.
I just looking at both sides of it, there might have been a reason why Vrabel could or couldn't challenge it. There was a lot there. I think really once Payton won the first quarter, the Patriots just completely outcoached. By the way, they didn't give up a point after that touchdown either.
Not a point. And I think it's their best. I think the 4th down where they went for it, I thought that was a terrible moment for Sean Payton. Not so much going for it, but you have this outstanding offensive line. We had heard about this offensive line. I understand your running game isn't elite. I know, Jarrett Stidham, whatever. You have this offensive line, and you call, I don't even know what you called, some play-action rollout, and credit to the Patriots, because I think Payton thought they were going to be in man when he made that call. They were in zone, and I think that blew up the whole play. And that ended up being maybe the difference in the game. So I don't know if you credit Zach Warrior. I mean, that was a great play.
Well, let's talk about it. At the beginning of the game, remember we were like, what the hell are they doing? Remember how they used to blitz and they weren't giving anything away, making anything easy. They were almost playing like prevent zone.
Yeah.
Like all the hitches were wide open. Even though we were pissed.
Yeah.
Remember, they're like, why are they going back to this?
Easy pitch and catch.
It might have been like a spider web where they, on the big play on 4th down, they fell into which they thought was man into zone.
Right? Phil is in New Hampshire. Hey, Phil.
Hey, I'm just calling, first of all, happy AFC championship win, gentlemen.
That's right, Phil.
Secondly, how do you think about the strengths and weaknesses of the Patriots versus the Rams or the Seahawks?
I don't know if I'm there yet. All I know is that give Seattle, like you just keep talking about great defenses. It does nothing for me anymore.
Yeah.
So, but the Rams would be, if we're talking about both teams, star power. I think the Super Bowl needs star power. This is why I think it feels a little different for the Patriots because they don't have that, right? I mean, Drake May's ascending, no doubt.
Yeah.
But, Tom Brady was the draw. What is the draw now? I mean, it's Drake May, obviously.
May versus Stafford would be a notable matchup. That'd be a noteworthy matchup.
It would be a billboard special.
Correct. From a Patriots perspective, I would prefer the Seahawks. I just think they're similar to what you've been facing the entire playoffs. A quarterback that can be terrible, can be really good. You don't he's not really anything noteworthy for the most part. He's had a good year. He's been good, but he could have a terrible game and you wouldn't bat an eye, and a great defense. Okay? I think that's what you've been going up against the entire playoffs. Except now you'd be going up against it presumably with favorable weather conditions, which I would hope would unlock Drake May a little bit. He's played the last 2 games, not only, Joe, against great defenses, but in really bad conditions for throwing the ball, for quarterback play, all of the above, for the things he likes to do. I would hope, and maybe, I don't want to call him, it doesn't mean he's soft, but I would just hope that the fact that it would be nice weather, presumably, would allow him to feel a little bit more freed up, a little bit more confident, and we'd see some of the MVP type of Drake May plays that we saw all year. Justin is in Lynn. Hey, Justin.
Hey, back. It's Justin. I just want to help you guys out. That was a backwards pass on a touchdown that wasn't called. That should have been called. That was a backwards pass. You guys were right on that.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Justin's great. He's been following along all year, Mark, and watches the games better than anybody else. We saw it. It was a backwards pass.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know the rule. Is the rule if the whistle's blown, you can't advance the ball?
The advance, I think, is then taken off the board. Yeah. The best thing you can do is get the ball where they got it. So they changed it to the fumble, but you can't have the advance. That's why they let it. They're supposed to. I think they're coached, the refs, to let it play out. If there's any doubt, let it play out, and then you review it. And if it's a forward pass, then you never mind, incomplete pass, no harm.
Which is why I think Vrabel didn't throw the red flag, or he couldn't throw the red flag.
That was a pathetic sequence from the ref there. Kevin is in Foxborough. Hey, Kev.
Hey, guys. I don't want to get too negative. Great win, but do we think Vrabel got the travel out to Denver right? It just seemed like the entire team it was an awful start. What do we attribute that to?
Drake May playing poorly, some nerves. Josh McDaniels coming out with a bad game plan early. I didn't like what they did off. I thought it was too conservative. But maybe not. Because in the end, Joe, it was the lack of turnovers that won them the game. So and their defense did enough. Maybe that was the play.
Yeah, I like the spiderweb analogy earlier. Is like they showed a look early. The Broncos saw it and had it all planned out. And there was the trash talk all week, and Peyton was dialing it up, man.
Yeah,
Peyton was rocking and rolling early on.
They were looking good early. Yeah,
but he got spun, and that fourth down play was probably the big change of the game, I guess.
I think it activated the Patriots defense. I thought they were on their heels until that point. And then they made that play. Then it was a different unit after that. I feel like they got a little confidence, and they went from there. In terms of the altitude thing, I have no idea the science behind it or the exact whatever. Vrabel said that in order to fully adjust to the altitude, they would have had to gone out a week, like 9 days before the game, which obviously was impossible. Yeah. So I don't know if going out a day or two earlier would have done anything. Maybe it would have. I've never lived there, been out there really.
Just to add to that, I talked with Lawrence Guy earlier in the week, and he mentioned playing in Denver, never go to the oxygen machine. He said basically once you go to the oxygen, it's a problem. I didn't think the altitude was an issue. I thought the weather was an issue.
The weather?
I thought the ball was frozen.
Yep.
And I think Drake May struggled to throw the football as well.
I think it happened against the Texans, too. I think the weather was sort of a factor in that game. He ended up making some plays. But again, I'm impressed. He still just finds ways to be productive and be good, even when it's not working. He never gets discouraged, I feel like, even though today there were bad moments, Joe. I mean, there were bad throws, very makeable throws that were there for him that an MVP-level quarterback should be able to make, and he short-armed them. He looked bad throwing them. He looked indecisive. He looked like he wasn't seeing the field in some moments. I mean, it was a bad game for Drake May.
Yeah, he wasn't great in the pocket. I don't think, though, by the way, the Pats line wasn't bad. Well, maybe if you watched the tape.
Benito didn't get a sack.
No, and the only one, Will Campbell had a false start. That kind of pushed him back a bit. Besides that, I thought they were pretty solid. And they went jumbo. I just saw this, 33% of the game. They went with Mumford on the outside.
Look, was it a banner game for them? No. But I didn't think they jumped out at me as being explicitly awful.
You can't win a game like this without the coaching you have. And the quarterback.
617-779-0985. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray here. This is the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
provide the pick-me-up after the failed fourth down. Wide splits for Denver up front, 2 high safeties. May in the gun, 3 receivers right, 1 split left. He's looking that way as he drops back. Now he comes back right. He fires it. Matt Collins comes back with a bobbling catch inside the number 30 between a pair of defenders, and he dives to the 31. First down, New England.
I think he may have Moss on him. That's the key. You got to throw Moss. Moss is the guy that's going to give up plays in this game. Stay away from Surtain. You know, they split back all the way out to the right. And this is where Drake goes right back to that old reliable dig cut. He almost dropped it.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. With 10 completions by the Patriots today, Catches Law donates another $1,000, which brings the catches for college season total, okay, to $40,400. The Catches Care Scholarship ensures financial hurdles will not prevent students from pursuing their dreams. That was the play. I think that was the big third down play we were talking about earlier to Mac Hollins. 20 yards, Mac Hollins, a little bobbling catch. And how many times did we say in that room, in the boardroom, Joe, we were watching the game, throw it Riley Moss? I felt like they never did it, or at least not enough. They did there, and they got the first down. So that was a big play in the game. Drake May, a big part of why the Patriots won this game, obviously, and his press conference is brought to you by your local Chevrolet dealers.
When it's grass, for it to, I think underneath with the heaters like our stadium does, it's hard with grass, I guess, to do that. But, no, I think, it was good enough on the last run to get around the edge. And I think, other than that, we, had some times where we had some chances to score, and I think we got to help our defense out more. But, hey, it is what it is. And that was, man, it's awesome going to Super Bowl. So I can't complain.
What do you think about your approach, if anything, as the second half is going along, the conditions are getting worse, and sort of realize what kind of game it was going to be, the kind of score it's going to be?
Yeah, we're running the football and knowing that protecting the football. Once we got those 3 points out of halftime, that was a huge drive. Just protect the football and let our defense keep doing their thing. It was tough elements for offense. The defenses were playing great, and really just give our chance to to not lose the game and turn the ball over or do something where we put our defense in a bad spot. And our defense showed up every time and time again.
Drake, I understand that you were a spectator as a kid watching the Patriots in the Super Bowl against your Carolina Panthers. What's it feel like now, how many years later, being on the team you were rooting against?
Yeah.
And now being in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's full circle. My dad, when I think I was maybe 7th grade, said if the Panthers made it, we were going to go. And, it was heartbreaking. They lost to the Broncos. And but no, what an experience for a kid at my age who loved football, who loves quarterbacks. It was Peyton's last game, and what a Hall of Fame career he's had. So pretty cool to be full circle going back here 10 years later. And I think it's just a special moment for this whole team, and we're just going to enjoy it tonight. And head back. We got 2 weeks, so we got some work to do, but looking forward to seeing whoever we play.
How would you describe how you came out of this game health-wise?
Yeah, I think some bumps and bruises, but hey, that's what it takes. And I think a lot of those guys in that locker room are battling through things. And I think at the same time, the best thing about it is we get another chance at it to get healthy. 2 weeks, and we go into some nicer weather. I think is knock on some wood. We'll see, but a chance to go win the Super Bowl, man. That's what it is. That's pretty cool.
Drake, on the keeper at the end there, what did you see? Was that a straight naked move for you the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, we were in big personnel running the same deal to the right, little stretch play, and at some point, they get lackadaisical and got a chance to get around the edge, and I thought he was going to track me and hawk me down, but got enough to pick up the first, and Coach Vrabel would probably get mad about running out of bounds, but at that point, it doesn't matter when you get the first down. So that was a cool moment and cool to separate those guys. It's always cool finishing in victory formation. It's pretty sweet.
Would you tell us about Josh McDaniels and how he is just called plays for you, especially in a game like today, even through a flicker?
Yeah, he's done a great job of mixing it up, doing what we do best, and also mixing it up. I think we still haven't played our best football yet in this playoffs, and I'm looking forward to seeing that and hopefully having that click in the Super Bowl. That'd be pretty cool. I think just having him and knowing what the game is like, he's great at having feel for that, and he's I think the best offensive coordinator in the league. So I got full trust in him.
Greg, speaking of victory formation, what's it like to take the final step, take a knee, knowing that you're going to the Super Bowl?
Man, that's cool. It's pretty special. It's something that I won't forget. Road Warriors, 9-0 on the road, playing for this team and finishing in victory formation. I head bumped Will, and that was probably the hardest head bump of my life out there after I picked up the first down. So special for those guys. We've been in that scenario a lot, and I always say it's my favorite play. And every team's favorite play when you're in victory formation. So that was I think our 17th win, and it's been a long season and it's been worth it.
You mentioned the Warriors. Last question. I don't know if you know about the Patriots' history here in Denver and the playoffs, but what's it mean to be the first guy to get in?
Yeah, like I said, it's the history and everything about it. It's a new team, it's a new era, and I respect and appreciate what the Patriots Dynasty did. And unfortunately, they didn't come out with some wins here, but we changed that narrative and look forward to bringing our best football for Santa Clara. That'd be pretty special. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Drake May, Patriots quarterback. Drake May's press conference is brought to you by your local New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado, where dependability comes standard. Just a couple notes here, Joe, just to put it into perspective. Obviously, the passing yards not there. Patriots, the schedule, the soft schedule. First team ever to be 9-0 on the road. Okay, they're going to the Super Bowl, going 9-0 on the road. Secondly, okay, now I understand the schedule and the other team's offensive lines and this and that. Okay, Drake May, okay, no quarterback has ever beaten 3 top 5 defenses to get to the Super Bowl until now. Chargers were number 5, Texans were number 1, Broncos were number 2. It's never happened before. Defense wins championships. The Patriots defense stepped up. Drake May found a way. He's been through the gauntlet, and he has come out on the other side. He's going to get better weather for the Super Bowl, presumably. If he gets Seattle, they're number 6 in the regular season. If he gets the Rams, they were number 17.
Yep.
Let's see what happens.
Just 2 things Drake May said that I take away as they practice this. Number 1, he said that just go out there and protect the football. They probably said to him, if you don't turn the ball over, we can win this game. He didn't. You said it earlier. They didn't. They didn't. It worked. The other thing he said was, we haven't played our best game yet. And I think they can.
He can be better. He can.
He's going to have to be better to win the Super Bowl.
He'll have to be.
He has to be better to win the Super Bowl.
He'll have to be. He'll have to be. And I think he knows that. I think they know that. And I think, the other thing that I would just mention, if you're talking about kind of what you brought up and the fact that they, had this run of teams that they were trying to play, Drake May, look, he just finds ways to make the plays, even if it's not the way he wants to make the play. You know what I mean? Even if it's not throwing the ball dynamic and being out, down the field, he'll run.
Can I give you a play on that?
He'll find a way. Yeah.
Remember the play when they got the Borregales field goal to set it up? They missed a field goal.
Right before the half.
That was an amazing play by him.
Knew the time.
He knew it. He slid.
Yeah.
Vrabel was there, right near him, calling timeout. That was one of his best plays of the day. Now, they didn't finish because of the field goal, but the thoughtfulness of the time and what he could control. I thought that was a great play. We'll get lost in the shuffle because they missed the field goal.
He's going to have to be better, obviously. This isn't Mahomes when he went to the Super Bowl, his first year as a starter, whatever that was, obviously. But again, 3 top 5 defenses. I mean, that's a really tough thing to negotiate, to navigate through, especially when you factor in weather and a game that gets muddied up because of conditions. And so that helps the defense in a lot of ways. The fact that he was able to do that, and just the only other thing I was going to say, doesn't this go back to, and I know we've brought this up over the course of the year, Joe, doesn't this go back to what Vrabel talked about first thing? Taking advantage of bad football. It wasn't that the story today? And the plan maybe today was don't turn it over and let Jarrett Stidham or the Broncos or whatever have some bad moments and let's take advantage of them. And it felt like when they did have those bad moments, Vrabel said, there they are, and now we're going on lockdown mode. We are not going to turn it over. We are not going to be dangerous with the ball. Credit to Ramondre Stevenson, Joe, who they were trying to get that ball from him. They were trying to yank that out of it. He would not let it go. There were a couple times you thought it was coming out. He held on to that thing, and they are in the Super Bowl because of that. That was the big play. The big storyline, one of the big storylines from this game and why the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, because of what Mike Vrabel said when he first took the podium. Take advantage of the bad football.
Effort, finish, and beat bad football.
And that's what they did today. 617-779-0985. Greg Bedard still to join us, but now let's get a headlines and an update from Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. They defeated Denver.
in Denver twice when I was in the Air Force, and living out there in that altitude when you come from sea level is miserable. The fact that they overcame the burning lungs, it just shows how tough this team is.
And there you have it. So that might have been an extra factor, obviously it was an extra factor in this game. Weather, altitude. Matt's tagline said it takes about 3 weeks to really adjust to the altitude. So I don't know any of that, but there was a lot to overcome. I do know Drake May will have to play better in the Super Bowl. We'll see what defense he gets. We'll see this is what I'd like to think, Joe, and I've said this to you. I don't know if I said it on the air. I'd like to think when he gets to Santa Clara, if the weather is better, normal, 57 degrees and clear, he'll feel a little unlocked, and that will hopefully result in Drake May looking a little bit more like Drake, because he hasn't looked between the turnovers and then this game, very few passing yard, dynamic plays. That hasn't been Drake May that carried this Patriots team for much of the season.
Yeah, for those listening, because there's a lot, shout out to our YouTube friends all hanging out, watching inside. They haven't had a great game. They just haven't. The offense is due. It was bad today. It was bad. I think the elements had everything to do with it. So, Mark, they're going to be underdogs in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Let it loose.
Shouldn't even be there. I mean, what?
Let it loose.
Listen to me. I was at the game last year against the Chargers in late December, okay? We watched it was like early third quarter. Everybody just in droves getting the hell out of there. This was a little over a year ago. Get me the F out of here. We were talking about draft picks in October last year. Should they lose this game and get this pick? Travis Hunter, the lineman with short arms. We were in such a bad place. Gerard Mayo was so lost. The staff seemed so lost. Drake May, we had no idea what we had. People leaving in the third. I mean, what a bottoming out that was. And now they're going to the Super Bowl, Joe.
Yeah. I wanted Ben Johnson over Mike Vrabel. I'll take the L. I didn't want Josh McDaniels to be the offensive coordinator. I'll take the L. I had them under 8.5 wins. I'll take the L. I didn't have them going to the playoffs. And I sure as hell did not have them going to the Super Bowl. So I will tell you, as 742, I'm still shocked.
It hasn't hit me.
I'm shocked.
It's so weird without Tom Brady. Yeah, without Bill Belichick, they're going to the Super Bowl.
And they did it all without him. Like they didn't. Drake May's got nothing to do with those guys.
No,
right?
No.
This today was really something special.
They win in Denver. I mean, especially with the pedigree. Who cares? Who cares how you do it? You found a way to do it. Alf is in Michigan. Hey, Alf.
Hey, fellas. Hey, hats off to the Patriots, man. I got to say, man, that was giving me 2015 vibes. That play with the turnover. That was the same thing that happened 10 years ago. Remember?
And the other thing, off of what Alf said, I just think they're incredibly balanced. The biggest thing that's been missing, what we just talked about, they haven't had the dynamic plays consistently, or May's been a little inconsistent, unlike what he was in the regular season. But by and large, this has been a situation where they have been a very balanced team when you think about how Drake May can throw the ball, the type of receivers and pass catchers that they have. I mean, where's Hunter Henry been the last 2 weeks? I'd like to see him reactivated for the Super Bowl. The defense playing the way it's playing, okay? Special teams was awful today by and large, but they've been really good overall. Who wasn't awful on special teams today? Schooler was very good today. Made some big tackles on special teams.
I thought they did well, too. Like, they had a couple that gave them bad field position. Again, I saw really good things from the Broncos today. If I have a second.
Yeah.
I think R.J. Harvey stinks.
I wish everybody could have been in that conference room.
That guy stinks.
You were going off. He was out of nowhere. Joe was eating. He was what'd you call it? Stress eating.
I was stress eating.
And then he would just say, I don't like Harvey. Harvey bite. He's awful.
He blows, is what I said.
Yeah.
That guy sucks.
He sucks.
And then they'd throw him a ball behind the line, and he couldn't beat anybody and would get tackled. And they'd run the ball, and he'd get stuffed. And I'm like, this guy stinks.
Yeah.
And it was to the point where they just kept giving him the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good. This guy stinks. So I think I feel validated. He stunk. 59 total yards today for receiving and rushing for Harvey. Drake May at 65 just rushing. Ramondre 70.
That was a big blow to the Broncos when J.K. Dobbins wasn't able to play. They thought
the other guy was worse. McLaughlin.
Oh yeah, he didn't.
He
do much.
stinks.
Yep. So a tough scene there But, I mean, the Patriots, they go to Denver, find a way, and now they're going back to the Super Bowl. Just insane. Steve's in Peabody. Hey, Steve.
Hey, boys, thanks for taking the call. Two quick points. What's up, buddy boy?
Yo.
First of all, thanks to the officials for letting them play. Other than that mistake, which should have been a touchdown, that's fine. They let them play. And the other thing that pisses me off is they need a horn to blow when the clock runs to 0, because Denver had that happen and they didn't call it. Thanks, boys.
That's well said, Steve. I will take that. I kept waiting for the one flag that was going to come out that was going to change the game. If you guys can just drop Steve, I'm locked up here, guy or Kev. I was waiting for that one flag that changed the complexion of the game. It never came, and it was a joy to watch them let them play and to let the players determine the outcome of the game and not have it be muddied by flags and officials. And I don't know, did the Broncos have a penalty all game other than the grounding? I don't even remember a hold or anything.
No.
How many flags are in the game? I don't remember any
I
flags.
have to look that up. Dude, this is so weird. So the Patriots went to a Super Bowl in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
They went in 96.
Yep.
They went in the 2000s, 2010.
Yeah, many times.
And now, so there's 5 different decades?
Yeah.
There can't be another team that's done that, right?
I don't. You have to look that.
No,
one
but
up.
I'm just.
Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible run
for the last. However, 5 decades.
I
80s,
just
90s.
and the other thing, Joe. It's not like you're talking about a draft class from last year, 2025, that completely blows you out of the water. They had some nice picks. Henderson's nice, and Campbell's been on the field, and Wilson. But it's not like they hit on these 2 guys that immediately made the Pro Bowl. And they've changed this, or a quarterback last season. Obviously, May did. But I'm talking about it's not like they had this huge draft class that completely turned around the organization. It's been fine. They've gotten contributions. But the fact they've been able to do this based on what they were, where the culture was a year ago, is unbelievable. 617-779-0985, 820. Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal will join us. A lot more to get to here. This is the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports of Patriots Radio Network.
Pats fans, it's official. We're going back to the big game. True.
the New England Center for Children for every converted field goal. For more information, go to apexentertainment.com. Patriots going back to the Super Bowl, 10-7 winners in Denver over the Broncos. Who had the better day coaching? Joe, was it Mike Vrabel or Sean Payton? Is that even a question?
Well, let's do the week. Let's do the week and then the finish of the game.
Yeah.
I think it was Sean Payton who won the week. I think it was Sean Payton. The fourth down play was bad. Take the points, right?
Yeah.
Because we're still playing.
Yeah.
We're still playing, and the Patriots missed opportunities. I'll also say that I do think offensively they got him on that third down play. I was, again, you said Drake May should keep the ball. I always remember the Doug Flutie QB
in Buffalo, electric against Jacksonville.
It was a lever. Whenever they needed to pull it, he had it, right? That's the play. And the
only thing I was worried about with the bootleg was the
slipping.
Yeah,
exactly. And he beat him.
Yeah.
Drake May had a one-on-one with a linebacker, and he beat him for the first down. That's coaching, right? That's Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
Is Vrabel involved in it, or is Vrabel give the ball to May? What? All I'm trying to say is, I don't think the early on in the game Josh McDaniels was great, but I also wonder if they were baiting the defense. Like I said, there was a lot of things. I think a lot of things were set up today, meaning they tried something and then later on went to it. You know what I mean? Especially on defense. But that play in particular, though, they were running the ball up middle or up. Everything was either a dive or trap. You know what I mean? Nothing was outside or pitch or anything until that play.
What I'm struggling with is, and I don't know what they knew in terms of the weather, because I certainly all week did not hear about a snow game. I wasn't expecting as much snow as they got. So I'm struggling with, do we give, and I'm going to ask Greg Bedard this, do we give Vrabel more credit for being conservative, or did he sort of get bailed out by the weather by being as conservative as they were, just trying to protect the football, not turn it over, not make a mistake, and the weather and and Stidham and all of the above sort of bailed them out? Or do I give them credit, knowing that the weather was going to be a factor, Stidham was going to look like he was going to struggle, and that they were going to be able to dominate defensively for large portions of that game? That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm wondering. Drew's in Florida. Hey, Drew.
Hey, guys, we are destined to go this year. This is our Super Bowl. Seahawks defense, number 6. Rams defense, number 17. We just beat the best of the best defenses in the AFC. We're going to dominate this freaking Super Bowl, no matter who ends up there. And I'm looking forward to breaking out Captain Kevlar once again. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Drew. I'll say this, Joe, okay? And this has been a talking point. Obviously, I'm biased. I don't care. I certainly do not view the NFC Championship game as the de facto Super Bowl, okay? I understand that team that wins will be the favorite, but there is no way. I mean, I could come up with plenty of paths against either team for the Patriots to win that game. This is not the de facto Super Bowl. They should be the favorite. I get that. They should be.
Yes.
But this is not some hopeless scenario where the Patriots are incredibly balanced. Drake May is due for a dynamic game. He just played a clean game in those elements. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They are playing well on the defensive line and on the back end. The Patriots can win this game, the Super Bowl. They can win it.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to hear that this is the de facto Super Bowl being played right now in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, yeah, and just to give you some betting analysis on this, if Bo Nix plays, it's 1.5. That's what the opening line would have been.
Broncos.
It probably could have moved from 1 to a pick, whatever, anywhere between 1 and a pick 'em. So today, the Pats being 4.5, 5.5 favorites, it was a little inflated. Now, they probably could have covered. They didn't. They closed 3.5, and they won by 3. So if you're just looking at the betting numbers, Broncos covered. And how many didn't we see? The number was teams that are 3.5, 4, or better.
They were 10-0, 9-0, 9-0, something like that.
So it happened again. All I'm trying to say is dogs in the Super Bowl of 3 or less, I think, cover more than they lose. So, yeah, either team will probably be 3, 3.5, but then there'll be 2 weeks to bet on it, Mark. To me, on a neutral site, 3's a lot for the opposing, for the NFC.
Sure. Especially if it's Sam Darnold.
So I think the sharps will be on the Patriots.
Mark is in North Carolina. Hey, Mark.
South Carolina.
Okay.
What's up?
What's up?
Mark Dondero.
What's up?
Thank you for having me on. I think this was the best coached game I've ever seen by the Patriots. And I go back. I watched all of them with Belichick and Brady. This one, as a fan, the entire second half, I wanted to see Drake May start to open it up and start to lay it down the field. The weather conditions, whatever it was, the coaches wouldn't allow it. Just hand it off to Ramondre, hand it off, knock it anywhere, kick it off, give it to them. And every time they gave it to them, it's a 3-point lead, and they're going to come back down the field, and they're going to end this game on us. The coaches knew that wasn't going to happen, and they held them with the defense.
So incredibly, I'll let you go, Mark. Incredible discipline from the coaching staff. A very well-coached game. Obviously, I'm not going to put it up there with the Super Bowl 36 game plan that's in the Hall of Fame. And the decision to let Tom Brady go for it on that final drive that won them the championship. That was there were other games that were better coached than this one. I didn't think Josh McDaniels was great to start the game. But again, like I said, just the fact that they were able to start a little slowly and then morph into the team they wanted to be, that's what they did for large stretches of the season, and they did it in this game. Hadn't been that way in the playoffs, really, but in this game, they came back to that, and it benefited them once again.
One thing I'll remind everybody, there was a drive where they wasted a third down and threw it out of bounds just to punt it away to get their defense back on the field. I think that if you want to bring up coaching, they thought they had a better chance of their defense being on the field to make a play to help them than the Patriots running or throwing the ball on a 3rd down and 5.
Is that this generation's version of the safety, the intentional safety?
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots think about it. They wanted Stidham to have the ball for their defense to have a chance to make a play, the offense to make a play.
The only thing, and I respect the ingenuity there. The only thing I would have said, they were really backed up in that. I wouldn't have minded them trying a little bit
like
more
a deep ball or something.
Yeah, or something that could have maybe gotten the first down, even if it was a safer call.
It worked. That's all I'm saying.
It worked. I mean, you look. NFL kicking has gotten so ridiculous. The conditions are bad when the kickers, who are good kickers, are missing everything and not 60-yard field goal. I mean, one of Borgales' tries was 60 yards, but they were missing, 45-yard field goal attempts, and they were, and I know, and again, Leonard Taylor, who I didn't know who that is.
He got called up.
That's a huge play. There's no reason to think that ball didn't miss by that much.
They just pushed it a little bit.
If that wasn't tipped, that might have been good. And again, we could have still been playing. All right. Greg Bedard will join us. We'll get back to the phone calls before Greg. So if you're on the line and want to hold on, we'll go back to you after Joe Murray gives us an update on headlines. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
From the town of
Thousand Star Market Patriots postgame show. Music of the Game is brought to you by Live Nation. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Sammy Hagar returns to Xfinity Center on June 24th with special guest Rick Springfield. You know Rick Springfield, Joey.
Yeah.
Get tickets now at livenation.com. Greg Bedard will join us at 8:20. Let's go back to the phones. Mason is in Buffalo. Hey, Mason.
Hey, guys. I'm feeling great right now. I just want to say, if we lose the Super Bowl, I hope we don't, but let's just reflect on how magical the season has been, from the win in Buffalo in Week 5, everything else, the comeback against the Ravens, all that. Let's just reflect on that. If we lose, I just hope we can win. Hope every game. Yeah, go Pats. Hopefully you can bring home our 7th title.
Obviously that's the correct take. I don't want to talk about that right now. But they're just so far ahead of schedule, Joe. You don't even know what to say. I will say this, and maybe this wasn't cultivated as much through the draft process as I would have liked. But in '96, when they went to the Super Bowl, that sort of began. That sort of was the foundation of what ended up becoming the dynasty. You know what I mean? They didn't win that game. Bledsoe was gone. They needed Tom Brady. But a lot of those draft picks were the reasons they became the champions they became in the early 2000s. I don't know if this is the same thing, but I just know it's never a bad thing to go to the Super Bowl, especially now. You know what I mean? You don't want to be, if you're a team that's been starving and you've been overhyped and you should have won one already and you go and lose, okay, this is going to feel different for a lot of, I'll speak for myself. It's going to feel different for me. I was talking about this with my wife the other day randomly. Because the pressure, I'm not saying the pressure's not there, it's there, but it just feels different. It's just not the same where you have to win. You have to win. They're not even supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're there is unbelievable.
It reminds me of the movie Clerks. I'm not even supposed to be here today, but here you are. You mentioned those old teams, though. Like the 96 team had the number 1 overall pick in Drew Bledsoe. He was the catalyst, but everyone wanted to say it was Parcells. But they got Terry Glenn, right, who was a big-time receiver. They had their defense of Willie McGinnis and Teddy Bruschi and Lawyer Malloy and Ty Law and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is they had pieces in place in 01. That offseason, they went out and got a bunch of veterans. It worked.
Right.
I'm not saying it's the same thing, but this year they had pieces. They didn't have a lot of depth. But they brought in a Super Bowl winner, Milton Williams, right? Carlton Davis was a Super Bowl winner for Tampa Bay. Matt Collins and Stephon Diggs were contributors, big contributors to their former teams.
Yeah.
And they drafted well in the first round. So they got Christian Gonzalez at a special position, right? Will Campbell, say what you want, left tackle.
Did it and did enough this year, this season.
And you got your quarterback, and then you got your coach. It's just that's the recipe, right?
And a good defense. They had a good defense overall this season.
And they lost their defensive coordinator before the preseason. This is a special group, Mark, but I still never believed it. Here we are now, and I can see how it's built. I know how the sausage is made. It's just can they finish it off next week? And I think they can. I really do.
What?
Wait, you don't know how the sausage is made?
I know. I love it. No, I love that.
I want to eat the sausage.
I'm just
I don't
thinking,
care how it's made.
You're stress eating again. Steve is in Whitman. Hey, Steve.
Hey, guys. Hey. So one thing I think has to be brought up is the tipped field goal, right? Yes. That was not a miss. That was tipped. And the other thing, Joe, what were the betting odds for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl?
80-1.
Preseason.
Yeah, they're the fifth.
Unbelievable.
I think they were the 5th lowest ever. But yeah, 80-1. I think the Saints did it. The Saints are the last team to go from worst to first. 09, I think it was.
Great season they had that year.
And funny how there was no trickery today from them, huh? Sean Payton's always known for some trickery. Hey, do they win? I was going to ask Bedard this. Do they win this game with Bo Nix, the Broncos?
I'm going to say yes.
Me too.
Yes, because I just feel like the lack of production for the Patriots offense, I got to think with the way the Broncos found ways to pull wins out of their ass all year, they probably would have, Bo Nix might have found a way to do it again.
Do you know what I think it was? If anything, I think Bo Nix would have stunk too, but he can move. And I think having the mobile quarterback was, and listen, the Rams game last year against the Eagles, it was Saquon Barkley's run to win the game, but I think if they had another explosive guy that could move in the snow, the Rams could have won that game. They went down to the final possession. They had Jalen Hurts. I think the fact that you can have legs in this league now means something. Even Mahomes, right? Joe Burrow can move a little bit when he was in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We see what I know I brought this up to you off the air, but Lamar Jackson can run. We know what Josh Allen can do. Herbert's got speed. None of those guys made the Super Bowl, but Drake May has.
I really, and that's another thing we can bring up with Greg. I really wonder. I don't think they were asked. Obviously, we didn't hear Sean Payton's press conference.
Yeah, I didn't hear from him yet.
I really wonder if they knew that those conditions were approaching, and they knew that they were going to face that, because that would have been something to obviously consider when game planning. And I don't know if they knew that. Steve is on the Cape. Hey, Steve.
Hey, yeah, I'm curious about that fumble that Stidham had, and it was called a fumble, but not a touchdown. It should have been a touchdown. Also, I want to shout out Ken Mathias' podcast.
Okay. It should have been, we talked about it. It should have been a touchdown. They should have let the play finish out, and then you go back and you record. And then you review and see if it's a backwards pass. I mean, they do that all the time. Even when it's almost clear that it's not, that it's an incomplete pass, they let it play out just to be sure. I was shocked that they didn't do it there, but I do love the fact that they didn't throw flags. I love that they let them play. They played football. The refs weren't a part of the game from a flag throwing perspective, and I love that. Thank you.
The only thing I got on the refs about was the Pats had a really bad punt. I remember Jeremy came into the room, and I go, well, this guy doesn't even know where the ball went out of bounds. And Jeremy's just like, yeah, it's because he knows how bad it was. And I saw the guy run up 20 yards. Yeah, this is good right here. And I'm like, it was on the 30-yard. They still didn't score.
No.
They still didn't score.
It's one of the missed field goals, wasn't it? They missed the field goal.
I think that was the
block.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been good. I think that kick would have been good had he not blocked it. Unbelievable play. Brian is in Colorado. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's up?
Just chiming in at the scene out here in Denver. Man, these Denver fans, you listen to any radio station in Denver all week, it was Broncos, easy win. That D-Mac loser that you had beef with, Joe, he got fired from his job, if you didn't know that, not too long ago, and was begging for a job out here. Couldn't get it. But I really want to call in and say, man, I noticed I was about the 50-yard line up top. I looked around at one point today. Dude, 35% to every single row in that stadium. That place is usually all orange, red and blue, baby.
Love to hear it. Good luck and safe travels to those fans coming back.
I do want to mention that because I know we got Bedard coming up, but last night the Patriots had a party. Sarge was the MC,
of
and
course.
A lot of Patriots guys came out. They weren't selling tickets to Patriots fans. This was like a real thing. They were out. Patriots fans always traveled back in the day.
Yeah.
They were back out there yesterday.
It was great to see. You heard the MVP chants during the post-game ceremony there for Drake May, and they found a way to win. And, yeah, it was a backup quarterback. But, again, I don't care. I mean, they have to play the game. The backup quarterback's in there, whatever. Again, I'm just going to mention it again. The Patriots defense, despite the fact they got no fanfare. And, I mean, whatever. I don't care. But it's just I can't deal with stupidity. And they've been so good during the postseason, all year really, but especially during the postseason, to not be more of a part of the storyline leading into the AFC Championship game was just unacceptable to me. And they were once again, to the point where they were saying, just throw it out of bounds and we'll punt from deep in our end zone and get the ball back to the Denver offense so the defense can do their thing. I mean, that's what it came down to, yet no one talked about them before the game. Madness, absolute madness, and they are going to be a problem for whoever they face in this Super Bowl. I can promise you that, or I would expect that at least. All right, when we get back, Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal will join us here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Watching the offense break from the huddle with 1:57 to go, a 3rd and 7 with a 10-7 lead from New England's 39-yard line. Out of the eye. Fake by May. He's going to run it to the left. He's being chased. Tries to get outside. He does! He's got the first down! Running to the far side. Outletting the chasing defender, Jonah Ellis. And Drake May and the Patriots fake the handoff to Stevenson, the quarterback. The naked bootleg out to the left has a first down that should allow the Patriots to clinch it.
Unbelievable. Hey, America, we're back. The worst nightmare has returned. When you thought the team was down, the organization is down. Mike Vrabel and his staff and your 23-year-old quarterback, who should be the MVP, are going to Super Bowl 60.
Back here. Is music going? All right. Back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. Pleased to be joined now by Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal, gearing up for another trip to the Super Bowl. Greg, good evening. How are you?
You're all fired up, Dondero.
Well, that music got it for me. Yeah. What's going on, man?
Just warming up after just doing a hit on the field where it is still snowing and windy and cold.
Excellent. Real quick, this is a pre-question interview question, Greg. Did the coaches know that the snow was going to be such a factor in this game? Because I didn't hear a lot of chatter about the snow and the elements leading into the game.
No. I mean, even from what I saw locally here, the prognostication on the weather was, in the second half it's going to get a little rougher, maybe an inch of snow. And I don't know, looking at it now, I don't know how much. It might just be an inch of snow. But I don't think anybody thought it was going to be that bad.
Okay, so let me parlay that into the first real question. Sorry, Joe. I just want to ask, Mike Vrabel, obviously a priority in the game was protecting the football. I thought they were conservative for large parts of the game and most of the game really offensively. Do you give him more credit for being that way based on the weather, environment, conditions, all of the above? Or, were they a little bit fortunate that they were able to play that way with Jarrett Stidham on the other side and the Denver offense not operating at full strength?
The Patriots fortunate? Nah, couldn't be. Look, I think they went into this game and it was a topic of conversation, and I wrote about it this morning about how, I'm sure everybody said it this week, that if Drake May continued to play like he did in the first two playoff games, putting the ball in harm's way, putting the ball on the ground, they probably weren't going to win this game, unless Jarrett Stidham was really, really horrible. And so I think they went into this game with the mindset of, Drake needs to make his 3 or 4 elite plays. In this game, it was probably all with his legs. Then I can think of, throwing the ball. And as long as we don't turn the ball over, then our chances of winning are very good because we know Jarrett Stidham. Josh McDaniels knows Jarrett Stidham. I think anybody who knows Jarrett Stidham knew that if you could get him heated up, he would fold, and he was awful against pressure in this game. Credit to the Patriots for generating that pressure, which I think was one of the big question marks going into this game. But, basically, to answer your question, I would say because they won the game, it was the way to play the game. It was. I have no issues with it. If they would have lost the game, the conservative approach would have been a big second guess.
Greg, just looking at Sean Payton's day, I actually didn't hear what he said after the game, so I wonder if he had any good quotes. But during the week, he certainly did, and they backed Stidham. They scored the touchdown early on, but I want to use the term like spider web. I felt like the Patriots came out and showed a bunch of different looks. And that 4th down play, it looks like they went from man to zone. It confused Stidham on that play. Do you think they should have went for the field goal in that spot, and do you think that was the turning point of the game?
Absolutely, and that's not hindsight. You can ask Mike Reese because both of us looked over at each other, and we both agreed that the Broncos should take the points. They had the momentum, put the road team down 10-0 by 2 scores early with your backup quarterback. I think that would have been was the way to go. Peyton, I am looking at his transcript. He said it just felt like we had momentum to get up 14. I felt like we had a good call. We were at yard line wise there. Yeah, I think the feeling was, man, let's be aggressive to get up 14. I was just watching the way our defense was playing. He also said something about the Patriots were in. He said something about, he said they ended up in a 6-1 front. They ended up playing a heavy 6-1. But they played a 6-1 front with a kind of two-deep shell, so the run look was going to be, in hindsight, the initial sub-run thought was a better decision. So it sounds like it was a called run, but Stidham checked out of it due to the call. But I thought that was obviously one of the critical plays in this game. It looked like both that play and the Christian Ellis play, the 3rd and 4, when they tried to run a screen pass, it looked like the Patriots almost knew it was coming. They were all over the play. So, yeah, huge play.
And that's sort of why I asked about the weather, because I didn't, obviously a huge moment in the game, but I didn't know if that was going to be the reason that the Patriots were, that was the play that changed the game. And if they would have gone for that, had they known that the weather was going to be as much of a factor as it was later in the game. Obviously, the Patriots finding a way to do it, Greg. So overall, just to kind of put a cap on how this game played out, was it more of a lucky, gutsy win or a lucky win based on how they did that? And let me actually pivot off of that for a second, because I just thought of this. Drake May has gone through 3 top-level defenses on his way to the Super Bowl. Hasn't been done a top 5 defense every time he's taken the field in the playoffs. Is that more impressive, or is it more impressive to do it when you go up against another elite quarterback based on what you've watched over your years covering the NFL? For a young quarterback, 3 big-time defenses or outdueling another top quarterback?
So I will answer it this way. You will not hear me spouting the line that Drake May has beaten 3 top 5 defenses on his way to the Super Bowl. That is not what happened. The defense won the first 2 games. He certainly contributed and made some big, timely plays, and that's great. This game was also about the defense that forced, a turnover that gave them the short field that got them their only touchdown. So Drake May was involved. He did not, win these games. And, so I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that does.
Yeah, I mean, I just – Drake May, I think, if they play different teams or, teams that had offensive lines and their quarterbacks didn't turn over in the turnover machines, then they might lose either one of those games because of the way Drake May handled the ball. I mean, credit to Drake May. I think the biggest stat in this game was 0 turnovers for the Patriots, 2 for the Broncos. You could say 3 with the 4th and 1 play. The Patriots made all the critical plays, involving those. And I think I think they went into this putting a premium on Drake. Just take care of the ball. You take care of the ball. You come out of this with 0 or 1 turnovers. We probably have a win probability of like 90-95%.
Greg, just a hypothetical: if Bo Nix plays today, do the Broncos win the game?
You trying to get me in trouble? I'll just say, especially the way the conditions deteriorated, the way Bo Nix plays, the way that they use his legs and his running ability, that's all part of their offense. It's built into it. I also think, in hindsight, now after we saw, and I'm sure we'll get into this, but I think the Patriots actually won in both trenches, and I think that Bo Nix's, how they use Bo Nix and how they use his legs and the design runs and the rollouts and his ability to avoid sacks, he's one of the best in the league, I think made this offensive line look better than it was. It was one of my questions going into this game. And so, yeah, I think the Broncos certainly have a better chance to win this game the way it played out with the deteriorating conditions, with Bo Nix back there and how they incorporate. Like, they would have probably gone to a quarterback run game in almost the whole second half, and it would have been interesting to see how the Patriots would have handled that.
I agree.
It's a shame he couldn't have played. And Bo Nix had the tendency to be. How many games did he pull out of his tailpipe at the end during the season? So he could. That was prime for the taking right there if he was in that game. All right, more from Greg when we get back. We're going to talk about the trenches a little bit. I have a question about Drake May going into the Super Bowl. A lot more with Greg, but first, let's get updated with Joe, who has the headlines here right now.
with a 10-7 lead. With one timeout plus the 2-minute warning remaining for Denver, New England is that close to the next step in this postseason.
Oh, they tried to double him. He didn't bite on it, too. He sat, he watched his hips. More importantly, he watched the flight of the football and timed it perfectly.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. We are back with Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal, who is joining us.
Greg, I got to ask you, that defensive line today, Christian Barmore's swim move, Milton Williams, Tonga had 3 solo tackles, Ponder made a big play. This was all without Landry, who was ruled out. The defensive line was the story for me in this game. And, we go back to that reason why they didn't go for the field goal, and they went for it on 4th and 1. Like, if the Broncos had this great offensive line, why didn't they just run it there? So I thought the Patriots' defensive line was the story and the difference in the game today.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I expected the Broncos not to do much on the ground. That's just the way they've been the second half of the season. It's, for whatever reason, the line is not a very good run blocking unit, and without J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, I really like R.J. Harvey, but he's a third down back, a gadget back, that type of thing, and not built for him and McLaughlin. They're not built for between the tackles. They're little guys, so that did not surprise me at all in this game, especially because Jarrett Stidham's out there, and you don't have to worry about, as opposed with Bo Nix, you don't have to worry about the extra gap with the run game and all that stuff. So it makes it a lot easier to play run defense. And the Patriots, my only question going into this game was the 2 things. How aggressive were they going to be? Because, they know they had weaker units in the Chargers and the Texans, and, not very many good weapons. The Texans without Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. So they could pin their ears back and play a little bit more aggressive. Did it happen because Bryant went out of the game again? It just seemed like they continued on with being more aggressive. Their blitz rate was still really high. I think they knew that they had a quarterback in Jarrett Stidham that really wasn't going to beat them. I mean, Cortland Sutton's a good receiver, but not somebody who, you fear the real big play with him. And, they got little Jordan Humphrey out there and, Mims. So, that was a question. So they played more aggressive. They were able to do that. And then, I absolutely, I agree with you in terms of the pressure that they were able to generate. Surprised me. If the Broncos, their path to success was, for Jarrett Stidham to be very well protected, pressure rate around like 30, 25%, something like that. And, his numbers, pressured, not pressured, were night and day. And so that they were able to get pressure. I mean, Christian Barmore abused Minehurst, who was first team All-Pro right guard a couple times, including once for a sack. So those guys dominated up front. And I think both Patriots lines won their matchup, and that was a huge key in this game.
Okay, so Drake May obviously didn't play well, especially throwing the ball. He made plays with the legs. He didn't turn it over. Excellent. But with the throwing the ball, decision-making, not his best, obviously. Hasn't played to the MVP level we saw during the regular season throughout the playoffs. So going into the Super Bowl, Greg, if we presume that the weather will be favorable and, conditions and elements won't be a factor, is it more concerning that May has struggled and he's on sort of what could appear to be a downward trajectory right now? Or is he more due for a big game and he could get unlocked with the weather and a matchup against the defense that'll probably be good, but might not be exactly with the level he's faced throughout the playoffs to this point?
I would say that, first of all, as long as the weather's good, I think he stands a very good chance of playing better. I think that what you've seen in the first 3 games, including today, with the elements, that's the way playoffs go. I mean, it's hard. I'm sure if you looked at Tom Brady's splits, especially once they got out of the tomato can games, his regular season numbers and his postseason numbers would be very different. And so it's just the way things go. Plus, we're used to seeing Drake May over in a 17-game schedule against the 32nd ranked offensive schedule. And so now all of a sudden you're going against teams that, while limited on offense and, allowed you to play a certain way, they're really good. And so it's a lot tougher sledding in the postseason. I'm not worried about Drake May. If you're a Patriots fan, you're happy that he took care of the ball. That was one thing he did not correct from the Chargers game to the Texans game. He did correct it. And that's probably one of the reasons why the Patriots won this game.
Greg, it's Mark and I watched the game together. I was following you on Twitter as well. And I kept saying, naked bootleg, naked bootleg, naked bootleg. Like all game long, I was waiting for it. And when they just got past the 2-minute warning, the Broncos used their last time out. Even Mark said, you got to put the ball in Drake May's hands. And I was reading after the game, Drake May said that he called his own number there. It wasn't a design play. Said he hit his block, saw the defenders running the other way, and got the first down earlier in the game before the field goal at half. Also had a good little running play, but I thought that was designed by McDaniels after the game. Drake May says he did it himself, but I saw you say he called it as well. Hell of a play, and it reminded me of the old Flutie back in the day. Remember when he was with Buffalo? But it was a great play call, and it sealed the deal.
Yeah, I was. I did put on BSJ. I don't tweet that much during the game. I do comments with the BSJ members, and I did call for a naked bootleg there, and like you're just hoping that the Broncos. In my mind, I saw him taking off and nobody's out there and he just slides down and that's it. He did have to go out of bounds, so the Broncos defended it pretty well. But yeah, I thought that was a great call. Whoever did it, I'm sure McDaniels I'm sure it was part of the options on that play where, before he went out there, just said, look, if you like the look, just keep it. And, May decided to keep it. I thought that was a good option, whether it was there or not, to keep I think they had a better chance of hitting something there than in the run. So, yeah, I thought that was really good.
The NFC Championship game currently close. It's been back and forth a little bit. Is there a more favorable matchup from a Patriots perspective as you sit here right now, Greg?
Yeah, so, Mark, just so you know, I had no idea who was winning until I came up here. That's okay. And I did turn it on the TV up here, so I do see it. I did see the fumbled punt. Yep. The Rams special teams are a complete disaster, have been all season. I would say, look, the Seahawks defense is really good, and Mike McDonald's really good on that side of the ball. He has the chance to sort of keep Drake May playing this way, around a 60% quarterback in the postseason. But, I think I look at coach and quarterback. McVay and Matthew Stafford have been there, done that. They've won a Super Bowl. They've been there, at least McVay's been there multiple times, has learned the lessons, knows what's involved. Plus, with the Rams, I view them as a little bit of an older team, especially on offense. So the extra rest would help Stafford, Nakua, Devontae Adams be healthy for the game. So I guess I would rather have the Seahawks, but I think both would be really formidable opponents.
All right. I just want to see the Rams only because it's the rematch and you get the two MVPs of the league. And
that's true.
Even Drake May said it himself today. He hasn't played his best game yet. And to your point, if the weather's good, I think you will see Drake May's best game. Just so you know, the Patriots will be dogs in either games. So they'll be 3.5 if it's the Rams. 3.5 if it's Seahawks, 3 if it's the Rams.
Wow.
How long, Greg, until we see a congratulatory post from Bill Belichick on social media?
Till hell freezes over.
Just to add to that, Brady went on to a Super Bowl and won, and now Kraft has gone on to his second Super Bowl with the Patriots.
For Robert Kraft, huge for Robert Kraft.
Huge for Kraft. This might even help him get into the Hall of Fame. But Bill Belichick is the missing piece out of all that.
And the Patriots could be going back to the Super Bowl with a second-year quarterback against the Rams. It's time is a flat circle.
That's correct. Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal joining us here talking about a Patriots win in the AFC Championship game to send them to Super Bowl 60. Greg, thanks for everything all season long. We got one more, the big one to go. But
we got one more, Greg. Can you believe it? Because I'm shocked. I got to tell you.
It hasn't hit us yet.
I thought I thought I'd be on a beach somewhere with my wife, but by now. But nope. The ride keeps going for another like 3 weeks, basically.
Let's do it. All right. Thanks again, Greg. Safe travels home, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Stay safe, everybody.
Thanks, Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal. And when we get back, we'll wrap this up. We'll try to take a few more calls here before the end of the show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. This is the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Pats fans, it's official. We're going back to the big game. True Fan Travel has the ultimate.
his legs is absolutely game-changing. Drake is the best QB left. He can make the throws when it matters most in favorable conditions and can extend with his rushing ability. I truly think the past 2 games in these conditions will help his confidence in the Super Bowl, and I expect him and Josh to put a masterpiece in 2 weeks. I'll let you guys take it from there.
Pats have 2 weeks to prepare. I think they'll be ready to go. Who's the last mobile quarterback to win a Super Bowl? I know Steve Young's in my head, but he was as mobile as Drake.
Pat Mahomes?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, yeah.
Hurts is mobile.
No, I know.
You know? They're all mobile now.
I know.
Look, May hasn't been good. Brady wasn't the runner May is, but Brady was elite throwing the ball from the pocket, so you didn't have to be the runner.
Yeah.
And look, you can't run your way to a Super Bowl. It helps. This game, it was good that he went Vince Young. You need to he's going to have to throw the ball. He's got to be the MVP level guy that he was during the regular season to win this game.
Yeah, I don't think they can play like he's played in any of the 3 games. He did throw 3 touchdowns against the Texans, but I think he will have to be better than that.
And that's all it will take. He doesn't have to throw for 330, no picks. I'm just saying you need 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 257 yards. Something like that will win you the Super Bowl. I feel like with the way the Patriots defense has been playing. But again, it's still, he's early in his career. I think the conditions are, a factor with May. And I do expect him, for better or worse, if it is favorable conditions, I expect him to look better. I think it's going to be such a relief for him to get out of that. And he's playing not just in those conditions, but the best defenses, not just even this year, of the last few years. I feel like some of these defenses that he's seen has been so good. He's going to be so relieved if it's not as strong of a defense and in favorable weather. Mm-hmm. Andrew's in Southie. Hey, Andrew.
What a night, boys. I think if I coached this game, I would have lost it 10 times. I feel like we needed a big play every drive. I wanted to throw the ball on 3rd down. We never did. We kept running it, intentionally punting, basically looked like. Mm-hmm. And then we saved the bootleg run for the last play of the game. What a call, what a win. Pats are back. Gay for May.
Any thoughts on the Super Bowl, Joe?
My thought today was teams off of overtime generally struggle, and the Broncos did. The Rams are.
Yeah.
If it's Rams Seahawks, if it's Patriots Seahawks, you really got to look at the new coaching and the draft, because Sam Darnold's rise.
Yeah, he's playing well.
Can that type of that guy that was a cast-off win the Super Bowl versus a guy that was drafted last year?
I would take that matchup over McVay and Stafford, the MVP, presumably. And a good defense, with a really solid team, a solid roster that has been there. They're going to have the 2 weeks to prepare. They know what it's all about. Give me the defense that's a little bit better, that the Patriots have been dealing with all throughout the playoffs, the better weather for the Patriots to operate in, and Sam Darnold, who is at risk of being inconsistent as well as he's played, the rise and all that. I'll take the Sam Darnold matchup over the Rams.
Did the Pats lose to the Seahawks last year?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
They played a tight one. It came down to the end of the game. I know it's a little bit of a different roster.
Yeah.
Geno Smith was obviously the quarterback for that one. But I thought the Pats held their own in that game. And I know it's a different Jackson Smith and Jigba.
They lost 23-20 in overtime.
Yeah.
In Foxborough.
So there you go. They played them tough.
And that was Jacoby Brissett.
Yep.
It was week 2.
Mm-hmm. I think they know them. They're prepared. I still think the Rams have a shot. It's not over yet.
Oh, yeah. No.
But star power,
keep coming.
Star power, though, Rams Patriots.
Definitely. That's a matchup. That's the billboard. That's, the receivers, Adams, Nakua, McVay, Vrabel. That's a great matchup coaching.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson isn't really lighting the lamp there.
No. The Jigba's a great player. He might be the best receiver in the league. But it's the quarterback. And Darnold just, as well as he's played, you can't do that with Sam Darnold. Okay. Big thanks all season long. Today especially, our guys in Denver, Mark Capello, producer, engineers Dennis Knutson, sideline techs Tyler Knutson, and Mike Perry, and our guys here in Waltham. Unbelievable. Studio technician Kevin Majori and executive producer Jeremy Connolly. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Patriots, has teamed with Shaw's and Star Market for sacking hunger. Today, the Patriots recorded 3 sacks, so it's another $3,000 donated by the Shaw's and Star Market Nourishing Neighbors Foundation to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston to help end hunger. I still can't believe we're saying it. The Patriots, after a year that they had last year, top 5 picks in back-to-back drafts, they are going back to the Super Bowl after a 10-7 win in Denver, a place they've never won in the playoffs. 10-7 over the Broncos. The New England Patriots are headed to Super Bowl 60. We'll see who they play. Joey,
Rams just scored. Like, we got ourselves a game,
got a
everybody.
ball game, baby. Stay safe out there. Safe travels to all the fans in Denver coming home. Our guys out there who are coming home. So we want to make sure, and thank you again, everybody taking care of the roads in New England. Patriots going to the Super Bowl. 10-7 winners over the Broncos for Joe Murray, Mark Dondero. One more to go. This is the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
This has been the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Shaw's and Star Market makes shopping, ordering online, and saving easier than ever. Download the Shaw's Deals and Delivery